We are heroes, where a bunch of neurodiverse assholes play D&D.
Howdy
I'd
do.
like to...
We play
Hello,
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dragons!
are you Travis tonight? Um,
I'm always Travis.
so we'll pick up out of the abyss from where we left off. You had
The
stopped an
Spectre.
assassination of Wur's Salt Baron in the docks of Gracklestug. You'd managed to, through the use of Malice's spells, keep one of them alive long enough to get them back to the cell and interrogate them. Find out who they worked for, what the assassination was for. I think it's safe to say the interrogation was okay. Some information was revealed, but he was not a cooperative witness. He did not want to tell you anything. You talked for a while. He sort of said, if you get me out of here, I'll tell you everything. I think you decided that wasn't a great plan. Then you discovered that you heard that some of these assassins had sort of teeth that could cause flame and fireballs. So you basically, whilst I think he was still unconscious, removed his teeth, found that all of his teeth were like perfectly symmetrical and quite artificial. So you removed one that sounded slightly hollow, um, that you suspected would be trapped, and then Drodin, in his wisdom, decided to throw it in the corner of the room and see what happened. At which point, the entire cell filled with poisonous gas. There was a lot of choking and gasping, and generally an, a non-good time was had by all. And it was at that point where it occurred to you all that there was quite a number of invisible guards in this place, and I think Drodin, curious as to how many were around, decided to cast Detect Magic. Now, ordinarily, Detect Magic would not show invisible people, but for some strange reason, on this occasion, it did. Maybe it's the Fez Res, maybe it was something else, but Drodin became aware of a figure smaller than the other dwarves in the same space and began to pursue. And as you pursued and the small figure exited the building, he cast a spell on Drodin, which failed to take, appeared, at which you saw this strange grey-skinned tiny dwarf with huge spiky hair, adorned in lots of cheap-looking jewelry and tat, quite odd-looking. Um, he dashed out of the door and began running up the building. And I think it's at that point that Drodin decided to Chaos Bolt him. Was that right? Was it Chaos Bolt?
I think Chaos bolted him.
Oh, what did you do?
I don't remember. I shattered him.
You cast Shatter. Yes, you cast Shatter under his feet. He began to fall from quite high up on the wall. At that moment, he cast Featherfall, and then Tink hit him with a Chaos Bolt, which unfortunately broke his concentration because he was unconscious, and then he plummeted into the ground and made a pizza basically at the bottom. It was at that point that the guards all sort of came running, and you've got a dead derro. Malice's attempts to spare the dying, unfortunately, he was too far gone, could not be saved. So now you find yourselves outside of Overland Hold, the head of the Stone Guard in Gracklestug, with a number of guards standing around and a dead derro on the floor.
Um,
Over to you.
for the purposes of legality, I would just like everyone to know I was not involved in the pursuit or death of this man. And Alice is going to back off.
I think my one of the guards. I think one of the others has gone to get Captain Blackskull. I would appreciate it if you do not leave the area.
Oh,
Um,
I'm not leaving. I'm just not
you
involved.
should you should consider yourselves under arrest at this time for murder, but I would obviously that depends on the questioning that is about to happen. So if you would head back inside the building.
Isn't the messenger that you've all been after?
I don't believe so.
Oh dear.
This looks like one of the leaders of the derro.
Then why was he sneaking around in one of your strongholds, invisible? Nosing on our interrogation.
Well, I hope if you have issued a death sentence, you know why, and you've carried out proper punishment.
A quick
you-
question: what is the sentence for spying?
Spying. In what sense? Spying on what?
The legal matters that would take place within this prison, and
Well,
the
what evidence do you have?
investigations. Uh, I was more just asking for purposes again of legality. Um, if someone were to be spying, what would the sentence be?
Well, I believe it would normally be yes, true. Depending on what they were spying upon, it would probably be either hard labor, life imprisonment, or if it was a matter of security of the city, then it may well be the death sentence. So you're
Um,
saying this derro was spying upon who?
I'm not saying anything. I was not involved in any of this. As your colleagues will remember, I was in the main room. I was just interested.
Well, I was stood out here. I did see the derro come through the door and then begin to run up the wall. And then I saw your drow friend here cast a very loud spell. He has damaged the building, I should hasten to add. I hope you are willing to pay for repairs at the very minimum. The creature started to fall, and then your small friend with the wings finished him off, and the ground did the rest. So I'm not sure what
You're
exactly.
using the word friend very liberally there.
Well, I appreciate. I mean, I'm sure Captain Blackskull will wish to question you, but I'm trying to understand. You're saying spying, but everything that I saw was either at the entrance or outside. So where is
Well,
the
I
evidence
didn't
of
say that
spying?
what I was asking about spying was anything to do with any of this. I was purely asking you a question of legality. You seem to be inferring far more than I am implying.
I am only telling you what I saw. Small creature ran out of the building. The drow and the fae, are you a fae, followed and killed him.
Or we should
So
go back
please,
inside and wait, shouldn't we?
I think, yes, you may go speak to Captain Blackskull. As you're talking, another guard appears back at the door. She's in her office. Bring the prisoners, please. And a number of guards sort of stand at your side, 3 on each side of you. Please. They're not aggressive. They're not pushy. Captain Blackskull will see you now. You going? So they usher you through the building. You go through this very large hall. You go past the part of the building with the cells and into the back, where there is a large stone door, again with the skull and 2 crossed axes on it. It's not pretty. It's more symbolic. It's not particularly artfully done. It's just functional. One of the guards pushes the door open, even though it's huge and stone. It just seems to easily open. And you see Captain Blackskull sat at a desk at the end of this large room. You can see along one wall is just this huge series of drawers, one of which is open. You can see a young male dwarf with his sort of shaved head very close cropped beard, little glasses on the end of his nose, and he's going through one of the drawers and looking for files. There's no guards in here. There's just Captain Blackskull and this Durgar, and she gestures for a number of seats that are in front of you.
Please sit.
You
Oh.
sound a little different than normal.
Do I? How?
Slightly more high pitched, I believe.
Ah, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why. How about this one? That's squeaky. This one's really squeaky.
Well, let's just ignore the symptom and move on, or we'll be here all day.
Yes, please sit down.
Malice will stay standing at the back. It's, again, she was not involved. She is not acting involved. She is just there for moral support.
Will sit down, realise she then can't see above the desk in front of her, and decide to float instead.
Please just hover. That's fine. What's going on? Please tell me you've killed this derro for a reason.
We found them spying on our interrogation, and when I
Fine.
chased them to ask what they were up to, they fled and threw up magical barriers to prevent us from apprehending them. They were effectively fleeing from the scene.
They were
And-
also dressed. I thought like the messenger. Apparently not. That was an error. But also just yes on the spying. I thought they might be a part of the faction of that the prisoner we brought in. A part of their faction and spying on us to bring information back to them, and we couldn't let them return. So decisions were made hastily.
So you have evidence then?
Well, there'll be witnesses of our pursuit through the hall, I'm sure.
I did shout very loudly to stop that person leaving, that there was an invisible person there, and then they appeared when they attempted. I'm not sure what they did to you, Drodin, but someone must have seen him.
They attempted to paralyze me, effectively.
Right. They didn't attempt to kill you then.
No. They were attempting to flee.
So they were spying where?
The prison cells, where we had our prisoner.
And there are witnesses to this.
I don't believe your guards can see invisible creatures, so nobody would have been able to see them until the atrium when they attacked me.
You are unhurt.
Yes, because I'm capable of resisting some magic.
So this person you say was invisible?
Yes,
And you saw them how?
through the use of magic.
That's the invisibility spell.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, yes.
So all we have is your word that you saw an invisible person. You shouldn't be there. You asked them to stop, and they ran off.
So far,
But we have no witnesses. We only have your word that this person wasn't in the atrium.
Well,
Can you appreciate why I am in a difficult situation here? This is a member of the Council of Savants. This is the leader of derro, or one of them. And we already have a shaky peace since they were freed from their bonds, shall we say. It has been a shaky peace. And now I fear, unless we have solid evidence, it's very likely that this will greatly disturb the peace.
Surely this has happened before because your people can turn invisible all the time.
Yes, it happens all the time, but to be honest, probably part of the thing that keeps everyone honest, because we can't see invisibility very easily, but we can all do it. That's why it's not good to lie in Grakostug. I do have people interviewing the guards, so we will see if your side of the story matches theirs. I'm in a really difficult position. I should have you arrested. But I feel you're making progress. Ultimately, I need one of you to confess to the murder, and maybe we can work something out.
What would happen to that person?
If one of you agrees that you killed this derro, I'll give you 24 hours to find evidence that he was involved in a conspiracy of some kind. And if you find that evidence, then you will be acquitted.
If we don't?
They will be executed by Temperchild.
Doesn't feel entirely fair because we did, as you said, we're making progress. We brought in this prisoner. You've not been able to bring in a soul blade before.
I know, I don't want to do this, but the law is the law.
24 hours isn't a very long time.
How
Also,
long do you need?
72?
48?
I thought we weren't allowed to haggle in Gracklestug.
Not for money, is it?
I'll take what I can get.
would it maybe be worthwhile noting that the interrogation that we had just carried out, on which this fellow was spying, could be about the security of Gracklestug and the people within it, and therefore by spying on it and reporting back, it could have truly be a matter of security for the city and the people within it and your way of life.
Well, tell me what this prisoner says.
Well, prisoner might have some information about some issues with Temper Child and the Soul Blades working in conjunction with a previous member of the city. We would need to find out more to fully be able to give you the correct information. But anyone who might be a bit more in the know, this fellow perhaps, would be able to use what we found out against us and the city of Gracklestug, I believe.
Okay.
And so by pursuing him, my colleagues here were acting in the best interests of the city and of this fine establishment.
I appreciate that, and as I say, I like you. You have made progress that my own people have not, but we are the Stone Guard. We are not the judges. We are not the magistrates. We do not dish out death sentences. That is for the proper authorities to do. Look, I'm going to be frank with you. I'm pretty sure if you killed this derro, then you believed they were a threat. But I'm going to have your boat impounded, so don't try to leave town. I give you 48 hours to get the evidence. And if you don't have it, then I will issue an arrest for Tink and Drodin, and you can decide amongst yourselves who takes the fall for this.
I'll quite happily do that.
I can't be. Like, giving you 48 hours is putting my life at risk. You understand this? This is not the way we do things here. But I feel it in my heart that you are onto something. And I wish to see whatever is disturbing my city ended. If you are right, then I have every faith that you will find the evidence you need to free my city and to clear your names.
Bit with that. Could you tell us about the Council of Savants?
What do you want to know?
Yes, so who are they?
Well, have you met Darrow? Other than that one?
We have, and it wasn't particularly pleasant.
Okay. Well, the savants are the Darrow are, unfortunately, due to their similar to my people, really, but their lot in life was a lot harsher. The mind flayers held them in servitude for a long time. They twisted their minds, manipulated them, treated them badly. So they are all near enough to every single man, woman, and child damaged. Their minds are delicate, or it is a sorry situation they are in. So the Council of Savants is their best and most brilliant minds, and they govern their people, and they act as an intermediary between King Steel Shadow and the Darrow people. They were not free. Probably only 50 years ago, they were still treated as slaves, and King Hogarth had them freed, had their servitude taken and made illegal. They are a free people. They are free in Grakostug as much as any Dwegar.
They live outside in their own
Well,
little area.
yes, they have their own areas. Attitudes have still not caught up with the law, shall we say.
And where in those areas might we find the council?
You wish to speak to them?
There isn't a plan yet, but I feel in order to get evidence, we will have to meet with them.
Okay. Well, you need to Bovis, can you check where the location of the council is at present? They do tend to move around, and the the sort of dwarf with the shaved head and the close cropped beard and the little glasses.
Better if I turn that off. The dwarf sort of just nods and starts going through the filing cabinet. He looks for a couple of minutes as Matt's looking for it in the in his notes. Do-do-do. I actually don't know where they are. Sorry. How terrible. Yeah. No. He sort of turns after a couple of minutes of looking. It's like, I'm not sure. I think they are in the northeast side, Captain. Up near the halls of sacred scrolls. If you head that way, you can't. Well, I'm sure if the derro are indeed there, you won't be able to miss them. They do tend to move around. They're kind of paranoid. It's not their fault. But I believe about now they should be in the northwest.
The shaky piece that you spoke of. What were the terms of that? Why is it so shaky?
It's shaky because they are troubled. And they are, unfortunately, they are still treated as second-class citizens. So they are, as any of us would, if we felt oppressed, we would push back. Just as my people did when they were imprisoned by the mind flayers, so did the derro when they were serving the Dwergar. Now the council do keep them largely in line, but we have had trouble recently. I'm not sure why this derro was spying, but perhaps they were just trying to find out about troubles the same way as you were. Or perhaps they are involved and they were trying to find out what you know, but I feel we have no evidence either way.
Are you able to look over the corpse and see if there's any potential evidence on them?
I was just thinking of asking the same, actually.
Well, that's why we're the brains, Droden.
I don't know. I think Malice would actually make a very good attorney in a different life.
Attorney, yes. Friend, maybe not.
Perhaps a tad harsh, but
Oh, they're the one that said it.
I'm willing to let you examine the body if you wish. It's a bit of a mess.
We will do our best. Do we have any other questions, or may we?
And just to be clear, I still want that messenger. Not just any derro. It has like a nobleman's clothes, but made of poor quality material. Is that
Made-
clear?
Made a snap judgment. I apologise. I'm not.
we were pursuing someone for two different reasons. We could have communicated better on what was happening.
Just find out what's going on, and we can put this mess behind us. Can carry on with your lives. I can release your boat. Just please try not to kill anyone unless you're defending yourself. Please. Like if this happens again, there will be no second chance.
Technically,
I
this would be a
won't.
third chance.
Why? Not a laughing matter, Drow. Then what? What was the first chance?
I
Although,
believe he
Just
was.
if you've
Don't
murdered
worry
someone
about him.
else, then
No, I believe he was
this
referring to when we first met.
this is
When
the
we were acting in self-defense. If that had been a misunderstanding, then it could seem as if this was the third chance, but it's not. It isn't.
no. This is this.
And
Th-
like Malice is gonna grab onto the back of Drodin's neck and just be like, "Shut the fuck up."
I was just trying to say this is the second chance.
Things to say is no comment.
right. Are we finished?
Yes, let's go look at the body.
Okay, it's in the morgue. Bovis will take it down.
The young sort of Dwergar's like, I will. Oh, okay. This way, please. And he leads you out of the room, off down a corridor, and you go down some steps into an area. It feels colder, like a cellar. And there is very similar to Victor's laboratory. There's a number of drawers in the wall, and one of them is open. You can see these tufts of like white hair sticking up in crazy directions, even as you enter the room.
Malice is
As
gonna
you-
take out a notebook and start making notes. More about the construction of the morgue than anything else.
Go down. I just want to ask the other two. Do you think there's any Duragar in me? If there's dwarf in me and fairy in me, just the way that she was speaking, she just sounded like my mother. Not angry, just disappointed.
Oh no, I think that's just how you make people feel. It's not dependent on race or relationship.
I
Interesting.
believe the body we found of the dwarven girl wasn't Duragar, so I can't imagine there's any Duragar.
Well, at this point, I don't know. I'm just a puzzle. This one has hair like Rapido.
You mean the derro we killed, or
Yes.
okay, not the Duragar you were mentioning may have something to do with your identity.
No, I was just thinking aloud, and then I brought us back to the topics.
Okay, well, that's fair. I don't really remember what the derro we killed looks like, but yes, I remember he was a little eccentric looking.
Well, he's over there if you wish to see him.
Let's go take a look then.
Go through his things, loot that body.
Before we get into this, can I just ask, how does Malice feel?
How does she feel?
Yeah, because she felt sick last time.
She feels fine, fine.
Oh, you've still. Oh, yes. Sorry. Yeah. No. You are
Sorry.
feeling a little better, but you are still very hot. You have a very strong fever.
Is it good that the morgue is cold? Is that helping me get through this?
It just makes you it. You know when you're. You know when you're so hot that you feel cold. So it's like
Yes.
being
Yeah.
out in it's like being in Icewind Dale right now for you in here because it's cold and you are so hot. It feels absolutely freezing in here. It's like uncomfortably cold for you.
Okay.
Investigation.
Which one of us wants to do it?
Yeah. Can't remember what my shit was. Tink.
I have +6 for mine.
I have +4. I shall assist you.
Okay.
I'll get in the nooks and crannies.
This is where I feel like everything is going to go horribly wrong. No, never mind.
We find a letter of confession.
If only.
So you search through through the body and his bag and his pockets. He is a mess. He was pretty much killed and then has fallen from quite a height. So it's very hard to know. You wouldn't be able to tell what he looked like. He's very, he's broken limbs. He is in a bad way. But you go through his things. You find the first thing you find, which is slightly odd, is it's like a small statue, very crudely carved out of rock. It must have taken a long time to carve, and it very hard to tell what it is, but it's a sort of amorphous body with two heads on it, but there's no real features, there's no limbs, it's just like like an Earth Mother statue, which is just the torso. Do you know what I mean when I say that? So you've got the torso. It's like a torso with these just two head-like nodules coming out of the top.
Having to. Oh, okay. I had to Google what Earth Mother statues were. I know what they are now.
Yeah.
But also, if this thing has two heads, does it remind us at all of the thing we saw destroy Sloopledoop?
No, it's not. Well, I mean, other than it's got two heads, no.
Okay.
So
It's not detailed. It's just a blob with two blobs on top.
from the kind of cleric point of view with Malice, and the way everyone reacted to the two-headed giant, where the giant had randomly sprouted another head, could it be a spell component that might have that kind of effect? Like,
Yeah, you can roll Arcana for that if you like, or religion. Oh, there's no music.
18?
18. You're not certain, but it could possibly be used as part of a ritual. You're not sure.
But enough that we can make the claim if we make it confidently enough.
Yeah, potentially.
Okay.
You do know that's often not in your religion, but no, probably in your religion as well. If they're trying to invoke or summon, for example, clerics of Lolth will often summon demons or attempt to summon demons. Obviously, nothing like this, but they will often use little effigies of what they're trying to control as part of the ritual. So yeah, it's quite feasible. You wouldn't know how to do it, but you know that it is done.
Be something to do with the two-headed thing we fought when we first arrived. Surely this is evidence already.
It may be, but we should see if there's anything with maybe a somewhat stronger link.
Yes, the Stone Guard don't seem too thrilled to take magic as evidence.
Is that all we find on him?
You do what did you roll? Sorry, Jim.
26
No.
with a
26.
natural 20. Not that it matters.
You also it's quite hard to spot, but with that roll you spot it. He is wearing a ring. He does have like a little, very little staff with a gem on top, but it's when he's hit the ground, it's snapped and smashed.
Would it be easy to assume that was probably his spell focus, or would I need to do a check?
The little staff probably would have been his spell focus, probably, yeah.
Let's take a look at that that fancy ring he has. Had to phrase that carefully.
It's a ring.
Does it have? When you say it was hard to notice, is that because it's particularly small, or was it not actually on a finger? It was somewhere else.
It's hard to notice because his arms and fingers are broken. He's covered in blood. He's a
Mangled.
mess.
He's a pancake.
He is mangled. Yeah, he's mangled.
Does it have any sort of? Is it like one of those seal rings, or is it just a valuable looking ring? Or
I mean, it looks quite nice. It's made out of some sort of alloy of gold and something else. You're not sure. It's definitely real precious metal, unlike a lot of the gems and things on his costume, which are just tat and glass, and you can see quite a few of them have smashed when he's fallen.
I would. Now I don't have a lot of spell slots left, so I'm reluctant to do this. But rather than wasting 10 minutes sitting here and wasting a bit of time, I'm going to use detect magic and see if there's anything in particular that pings on this fellow that wasn't pulverized in his fall.
Okay, yeah. Does that give you the school? Doesn't it?
I believe so.
Okay. It
Yep.
does radiate magic. It Sorry, I'm being very disorganized tonight. Where is
do a dance while you.
it? Yeah, do a dance. It's all right. The item hasn't got it on, so I've got to look it up.
I know that fucking dance from somewhere. It's driving me insane.
Wax on, wax off.
They're all wax on, wax off dances. The School of Magic is transmutation.
I thought it was going to be a ring of invisibility.
I've just realised where I know that dance from. But I will make a note that Trojan has found that ring, and I will identify it later.
Jim, you also
Okay.
probably know the dance from me doing this dance at you at some point.
Probably, yeah.
I dance at you.
There's the
There's-
same with
there's-
singing anything from The Lion King.
There's a lot of bitterness and aggression behind it, though.
Okay, what would you like to do?
Oh, I'm really. I apologise. I've forgotten your name. Was it Borvis?
Yes,
The-
Borvis.
Borvis. Two questions, if I may. The derro, do they have, like yourselves, an innate ability to turn invisible? And secondly, do they have, amongst them, are they known for their wealth? Because this ring that we've found looks quite precious.
Well,
going- Carry on.
the derro are quite resistant to magic. That much is true, but the savants are often magic users, yes, but it is not. I don't believe it's innate like it is with my people. I think they have learned magic.
And by the sounds of it, I wouldn't imagine them to be a wealthy people in general. So this ring, I'm just trying to work out if it's out of place or not.
Well, you are. This is one of the leaders, so I don't think it would be out of place. No.
Rhoda, did you have something to say? Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, if we're going to be spending some time here looking at the remains, I can identify the ring, see what effect it has. It's definitely magical.
I'm not sure I understand what that proves, but
If that's all we find on the person, we don't find anything that can indicate their name or
no, rather weirdly, they have no money, no paperwork,
no
no
driving
nothing,
license. No.
nothing, no driving license. They have nothing on them. It's almost like they intentionally had nothing on them.
That's very much what a spy would do.
How do we know this is really a member of the Council of Savants?
I
Yes.
believe it to be a werewolf.
Yeah, Matt, this feels targeted all of a sudden. Like you were building up to this. This moment. For those not in on the joke, we play a lot of bluff games like Werewolf or The Resistance, and God, these are good liars.
No, we're not.
Really?
It's just
I
none
was-
of us trust anyone. Matt always thinks it's me. He always thinks it's me. And he goes ham on it.
To be fair, I'm always the good boy, so when I'm not, I do all right.
We're just all
Even when
terrible at
yeah,
lying and telling if people are lying, aren't we? Let's face it.
we can't read people and emotions and interactions.
Yeah,
We
whenever
don't
we
understand
play,
them.
Matt, you look at each of our faces like we're just gonna suddenly
Yeah,
just
I
like
convinced.
break out in Twitch.
No,
I try and convince them that I can tell what their tell is, but I can't. But sometimes just by making them think you can, it kind of helps. But
no, what you do is you say you think it's me. I laugh because I don't know what else to do in this situation. And then you decide that that means that I am actually the bad person. And then you spend the rest of the game arguing with me, trying to convince everyone else it is me. And it's not. I am innocent.
You talk out your theories so much we think it's you, but somehow it really is. Like you didn't have the plague. Anyway, where were we?
anyway, I don't know. Where were you? You found a ring. You found this weird amorphous statue with two heads, but it's not detailed enough to tell what it is.
And
Did
it has
the
no identification.
Nothing. No paper. No coins. Nothing. No
None.
money at all.
did the statue or anything else this guy is holding give off any magical lessons, other than
Statue
just the ring? Statue didn't. No.
No.
Nothing else he's got.
No.
Well, I figured the ring was magical. So I kind of feel like I missed that cast, to be honest. But at least we know he's got nothing else.
Borvis, I think we can put the puddle away now.
Okay.
Super.
Very well. It's not my job. I'll just let them do it. Are you finished? Shall I show you out?
Yes, I can identify this ring anywhere, so we don't have to be here for that.
You need to sign for that if you're taking evidence.
That's fine. I'm going to have to get Tink to help because I can't write in Dwarvish unless Undercommon is acceptable.
Transcribe.
Really? Okay. He kind of wanders off to a cabinet in this room, shuffles through, finds a form. What's the reason for taking this?
Magical identification.
And that is evidence how?
Well, that's yet to be determined.
I need to put a reason.
To discern if it was used to help spy on us or implicates him in any other crime.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that would work. Okay. Very good. He writes that for you. Writes it down. Who's signing?
I'll sign it. I've got the ring after all.
Yep, please sign. You need to sign there, and initial next to the justification, please.
So he'll scribble all of the stuff out and he'll probably sign his name a little bit with his little magic quill, and then using the feather on the other end, show off that he can like erase it a little bit. Like just like scribbles and goes, oh shit, and then like wipes his name out and then resigns and goes through and dots.
I hate this, but Tink would be like, "Oh, that's fancy."
The dwarf will literally just not bat an eyelid, won't react. If he is impressed, he's not showing it. Just kind of watches you.
I don't want to ask this, but do we have to do the same to take the statue?
I'll just add it onto this form. Just writes it.
You.
That's fine. You can go.
Should we check in on the prisoner before we leave? Did we have any other questions? See if Mick's learned anything?
We should probably get Mick out of the
Mick
prison cell.
is not in this game.
No, this would be
Rain.
Rain.
Across the streams. See that?
Easily done. Easily
Joke would be
done.
fun. The joke would be funnier if he had watched fucking Ghostbusters.
Oh.
Still not watched it. It's okay.
No, it's not.
Anyway, yes, we should probably go and collect Rain at the very least. And find a spot for me to try and, I don't know, identify the ring. I could maybe take a look at the statue, see if there's anything particularly interesting about it.
Okay, so it's probably like just after lunchtime now. Where would you like to go?
So, feel like we need a corkboard and some string. What do we know? Where would it make sense to go next? Do we have any needs? The statue. This ring.
So the statue, if that is anything to do with the stone giants, then maybe the stone giants, which we already needed to talk to, could be a next step. Though I'm not sure how long that would take. We do only have
48
40
hours until I'm eaten by a dragon.
Yes.
There's also the Council of Savants. One of the Stone Guards said they were in the northwest and they're paranoid, so they tend to move. So perhaps going and talking to them would be useful before they disappear. Also, did we ever get the name of the fellow who we accidentally killed?
No,
Identification.
I'm not quite sure that they're able to identify him, considering the soup of which we're left, and
Then how do
Not
they
me.
know he's a member of the Council of Savants if they can't even identify him?
Sounds like the members of the council are able to cast magic like he was, and he had all that tat on him.
from the short amount of time that they could see him before Splat.
The only thing that makes someone identifiable as a council of the savants' magic and tat, then anybody with any magical adaptitude could fill in.
You must remember that we do come from a place where most people have some ability. It might not be the case with the derro. We're not quite sure. It sounds like magic is rarer with them. So
This may be true, but we do also come from a city and a species where cloak and dagger is celebrated as long as you don't get caught.
whether we should hurry up and cloak and dagger this, shouldn't we, without being caught? We are very clearly showing that we are not from whence we came.
I was more thinking the derro is probably the one doing cloak and dagger. But yeah, we should probably move on.
Do we go to the derro or do we go to the giants? What we need to do is prove that he was committing some kind of crime that makes it okay for us to have executed him prematurely.
We should go to the giants before we go to the derro, because then if we do find anything out, that's one more thing to bring to the council in our defense, if they have heard of what happened. And how long does it take you to identify this ring, Drodin?
10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Let's sit down and have some lunch.
In fact, let me have a look. No, I think I... Oh, no, it's 1 minute.
We'll skip lunch.
I can make it take 10 minutes.
No, we are on a clock here.
We
Okay.
at least take an hour, but I would quite like 8, considering that I have no spells.
Well, we only need 4.
Oh, true.
I can use my...
You only need 4 hours of meditation. You still need 8 hours rest for a long rest, even if it's just sitting down. Nothing strenuous, I think.
Oh, I thought
What's
trance...
the fun of trance if...
Yeah,
that's
if you
the
can't
case?
complete a long rest in 4 hours.
No, I'm pretty sure that's
just
not
to
how it
help
works.
keep guard.
You just don't need sleep. I think it's not a short rest in 4 hours. It's just
A long rest. Not a short rest. Let's have a look-see.
long rest, even. Yeah. It just says you meditate for 4 hours. You don't need sleep for 8. Oh, hang on. There's... No, you're right. 4 hours. They also only take 4 hours to complete a long rest.
Would need 8, but... Oh no, I am quite low on spells.
I'm also very low on spells.
I mean, I have cantrips. Could also afford to spend some hit dice. Why am I on 16 hit points?
Because there was a lot of poison in that cell
Yes.
when someone exploded something with poison, and then you got into a fight.
I mean, we're just investigating, so I would hope we don't get into any more fights today, but now the Soul Blades have a mark on our back, potentially.
But yeah, we'd also been in the fight with the Soul Blades. We haven't slept. This is still the same day.
Does anyone else need
Yeah.
a short rest?
Yeah, it's about
Happy.
2 o'clock in the afternoon, I think. Probably, actually, 2:34 to be exact.
But I feel like we're on a clock and should just keep going until we drop.
But we might then drop at the most inopportune of
Inopportune,
times.
yeah.
If we rest now, we can prepare better. We can be more well equipped for what is about to happen.
Short or long? Because it's only
4
2:30.
hours. I need 4 hours.
My only concern is we'll lose track of the savants, but I'm sure we can find them again before too long. Nothing else I can send her if you're flying around the city looking for derro attired in similar tat, as it was called.
Okay, what are you doing?
Well, this is
They're
question.
taking a rest, and I am taking some hit points, hit dice, and converting some sorcery points.
Okay. So you're having a short rest, not a long rest.
No, it's a long rest for them.
Which
Oh,
feels
okay.
very unfair.
Okay, where are you going? You're going back to the boat?
They've impounded it. Are we allowed to?
I think you're
Yeah,
probably
just
still
can't
allowed
leave.
on it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll do that then.
Okay.
I want
You
to
head
get
back. Go on, sorry.
Stool first, so I left him with the guards.
Yeah, Stall, Rain, Derrendil.
Okay. Yeah, you wander back, collect everyone. They're all a little bit confused, especially Derrendil. I'm a bit confused what's going on, but where are we off now?
We're taking you back to the boat.
Okay, no problem. You begin wandering back to the boat. There's that normal sound of hammers on anvils. Malice, as you get halfway back to the boat, you literally throw up. It just completely catches you off guard. You're like, "Ugh," and it's really weird. You've not eaten since the morning, so there's not, it doesn't make sense. It's not anything you've eaten, you don't think.
It's water and carrots.
Yeah, if you want to go into detail, it's kind of not right, but you're feeling rough. You are feeling rough. As you approach the boat, you see a number of guards stood by it, but you also see a number of shapes on the floor. 4 of them, quite small, with sheets over them. And you can see Eldith on the boat, sort of leaning on the edge, and she looks quite distressed. You can see she's got a big slash across her face, and she sees you approaching, gives you a somber wave. Aye, afternoon.
And
Bloody dull. Killed
The
4 of
fuck?
the goblins.
The fucking doll is still around.
Kill the goblins!
it.
Aye, they were looking through crates and opened that. I'm sorry, I forgot all about it. Opened that crate, little doll were inside. Next thing I know, it's got a knife and it's stabbing everybody.
Malice runs over to the goblins. What state are the bodies in?
They've been dead a couple of hours. They've got stab wounds.
It'll be past any spare the dying, won't it?
What happened to the doll?
Mashed it to pieces.
What
That
did
won't
you
be
do with the
enough.
pieces?
Threw them in the water.
Good. They'll be back. Wait, so we don't have any evidence of why we had 4 dead goblins?
No.
Oh, excuse me.
Apparently-
I'm just gonna fly off and scream.
Well, out over the water and then just like,
Yep,
let's fly back.
sorry about that.
Sorry, Tink. I didn't think they were looking for food, and I said it was fine. Thought that doll was gone.
I can handle the Stone Guard if they ask questions about the dead goblins.
Well, I'm ashamed to say I said that we'd bought them, and they didn't seem too concerned.
That's what I would have said.
Oh, I know, I'm sorry, I felt bad saying it, but...
No, given the
Have I
circumstances.
done wrong?
No, given the circumstances, I think you've done what was probably best, even if it may not feel it.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't have any means to heal them. The gnomes are back to themselves, though. That's small consolation, I know, but they've asked us to lock the door properly tonight.
That's
Gonna happen again, apparently.
okay.
Three nights. They've been quite open with me now. They said it's when it comes, it's 3 nights. They don't remember, but they know that they hurt people and they change. So we've been told we can't leave, but I would like a proper lock for that door, or an iron bar, or anything.
Definitely gave them money to buy a lock.
Did.
Should we go talk to them?
And how are the other goblins?
They're a bit upset, as you can imagine. They thought they were off for a better life, and now ship's impounded and 4 of them are dead. I don't think they're close, but I think they knew each other.
We should at least go pay our condolences. And find out exactly how they would like their dead to be commemorated.
Well, I can deal with that if you want.
I should be part of the discussion.
Should all be we are the ones that said they would have a better life. We should all be there.
And we'll go find the goblins.
Okay, you go up the gangplank. The guards do stop you briefly, but you show them your badges and they wave you aboard. You step onto the ship, and the deck on top looks like normal. You can see Hemeth. He does have a couple of the goblins working with him. They're sort of working on stitching up some of the sails. They're sanding some of the deck. They're just sort of chatting quietly amongst themselves. As you walk along the deck, everything seems normal. If anything, the ship seems slightly better condition than when you docked here. Hemeth and the others are clearly working on it. As you head down into the what's the word? Words are escaping me today. Below deck. First of all, you see like blood on the stairs. You kind of have to step around it so you don't slip. It's starting to congeal and turn dark. And again, as you look down the ship, the lights are sort of gently flickering the lanterns, and you can see crates like scattered everywhere with the food all over the floor, and there's splashes of blood on the food and on the walls. And there's basically 3 of the bunks you can see have just got like multiple goblins just sort of sat on them. all just a little bit shell-shocked and a little bit quiet, just staring into space. You can see the gnomes and the shield dwarves are actually like picking up the boxes and cleaning, using mops and cloths and trying to clean up the blood, but it's wood, so it's gonna leave a mark. So you see one of the gnomes sort of mopping and then just putting a crate over the stain that's left.
They pay any attention to our arrival.
They look up, but they don't say anything. They just sort of sat there hugging their knees a little bit. You see the older goblin, the one with one tooth, and top of an ear missing. He kind of gives you a sort of, it's not a real smile. He's smiling at you, and you see his single big front tooth.
Afternoon, miss.
Speaking as captain, I suppose. We are very sorry to hear about what happened.
I'm sorry if we opened something we shouldn't have, miss.
No,
We didn't know.
no. You didn't know, and we didn't tell you, and that's our fault.
It was really mean.
Fortunately, on our adventures, we encountered this doll, and it just kept seeming to come back, even though we smashed it. And well, I suppose we did such a good job of locking it away in that crate that we forgot about it, and there is no excuse, but we wanted to say how sorry we are.
And we will do our best to protect you going forward. We can't promise that or other issues won't happen again, but we will do our darndest to keep you as safe as we can.
At least they
Or-
died free, miss.
We were wondering if there is a particular way that you honour your dead. You know, some bury them, some burn them. We want to do what would have been right by them.
We normally chuck them in lake and have a big party.
I think we can manage that.
It does seem most appropriate.
They're all
We
gonna
may have
die,
to.
aren't they, miss?
Sorry, what was that?
We're gonna die. Goblins are very small. And the world's very dangerous.
It's not the outlook to have.
DM, outside of this, are the goblins wearing any armor or anything?
No, they're just wearing very, very poor clothes, quality clothes, rags, basically.
Okay.
This... Well, the smaller you are, the fiercer you need to be. I should know.
Maybe we're best to stay here and work for the dwarves. I mean, they'll be mean, but if I only worked for you for one day and we haven't even got paid and 4 of us are dead.
Money up front.
We
Oh,
have
yeah.
thrown a lot of money at these. Like, we bought them new clothes. We didn't buy them armor, to be fair. We bought food for the boat.
Did you buy them
Right.
clothes?
I thought we did.
This was why I asked, because I couldn't remember if we brought them armor, but we obviously didn't because that didn't make sense. But am I
Well,
just...
maybe you did. Maybe they're just not wearing it yet. I haven't got it in my notes, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Buying our funds, there they are.
Well, in fact, at that point, Eldith would probably come down the stairs and hear you having this conversation and be like, "Oh, sorry, I did buy the clothes. I just it all happened before I could give them to them. Sorry. It's aye. So, are we ready to leave then?
Far
Um,
from it.
Unfortunately, we can't for some time.
Why is boat impounded?
So there may have been a fatal error in judgment, shall we say.
You know how we're helping the captain with their investigations? Well,
Aye.
we may have investigated the wrong person, and now we need to basically investigate them further to justify why we were investigating them. But that's not your problem for now. For now, these goblins need to honour their lost friends, so we need to buy some a little bit of ale, maybe some bunting. How do you hold a party?
Well, you usually cook food and drink ale. So I believe all there is to it.
So we've pretty
Why?
much got it covered. They said that's how they honour their dead, and
I can take care of that. Don't worry. I'll,
Not sure. Not sure how the Stone God will react to a party on an impounded boat.
See, it doesn't mean that they're leaving dark.
also I at first thought it made a lot of sense, all of these rules, but honestly, every time we try to do something right, it seems to be wrong. So to the hells with them. Let them have their party. If we're going to be... She'll look around and then say under her breath, eaten by a dragon?
I'm the only one. I'm the only one that will happen to, Tink.
There's still time.
Fine. Eaten by a dragon.
Basically, if we can't prove that this person was guilty, like I said, it's not your problem, Eldith. You're doing a very good job.
Look, if you need help from me, you need to say, because I've got no chance. Without you all, we haven't got much chance. Together, we've got a good chance of getting home or finding a new place to live. I think we are all agreed that this is not it. This is a grim, dull place with... We are below deck, so they take everything so serious here. Don't
It
like
is.
it.
It is incredibly taxing.
Aye. Aye, it is.
Filled out so
don't-
many forms today.
It's one thing, if you ever come to my home, I can assure you we do not have many forms. I've got time for that. Yeah, there's something, I don't know about you, but there's something wrong here. It just feels so... something wrong, it's not right.
What we're trying to help with, so maybe we'll leave this place a better place, but yes, at the moment I'm afraid we can't leave for 48 hours.
Okay, well, if you need me in any capacity,
Oh,
I am
you don't know
there, so
anything
just
about
ask.
stone giants, do you?
Oh, no. I think my grandfather fought one. Died. My grandfather, not the giant. That's all I know. And I had his sword, but that was the sword I lost in webs.
You are best placed, I think, holding down the fort here. Thank you.
Okay. Alright, we'll get cleaned up and I'll get ale in. At least the ale's good here. One thing we do have in common with our subterranean cousins. They make good ale.
Could we go see Topsy and Turvy before we turn in? You turn in, I'll just probably place gravel.
Yeah, you can do. They're still sat in the cage at the end. They look tired, like they haven't slept. They see you approach and just sort of nod.
So, you kept that quiet?
Yes, we did, miss. We did. We were worried you would, and the other one pipes in and sort of finishes the sentence. We were worried you would throw us in the lake if you knew.
Well, perhaps you would have a better judgment of our characters and what we would do if we had spoken more, but I suppose this is the opportunity to do that. So, 3 days, is it? This was day 1?
Yes. You see, one of them is talking to Tink, the other one is just looking at Malice. Just silently, just looking at Malice.
What is it that sets you off?
We don't know, miss. We don't know.
Do you know when it's going to happen?
I think it's every 28 days.
Every 28 days. Are there signs that it's going to happen with which you could then, be able to warn us so that we can most appropriately prepare?
No, we don't know. It just happens. And then it happens for 3 days, for many hours. The hours change through the year. We don't know why. We don't know why.
Do you have a name for it?
I think you know the name for it, miss. And the other one's like, yes, 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 you know the name for it.
So, if it is what I think it is, does that mean...
That wound from us, miss.
Yes.
Lady Drow. Do you feel sick and sweaty and your head's going to, and the other one's like your head's going to burst?
Yes.
Then there's time. Yes, there is time. Yes.
What
They're
do you mean
both
there is
nodding.
time?
To stop it.
It can be stopped?
Hmm?
How can it be stopped?
I wish we knew, miss. I wish we knew. But priests and holy people can stop it. But after 3 days, it's harder to stop.
So the wound that you've inflicted... Malice, do you have this now too?
Well, from what they've just said, I believe so. If it's what I think it is, it's... well, I believe it might be some form of curse. An affliction that you can then pass on to others. It stops you being able to build bonds and to connect.
Sounds more like a disease if it's transmittable.
Shouldn't you be on the other side of that cage door?
Not at the moment, but shortly. Probably. Though if I want it to end, from what they have just said, then I should really be out finding a higher level religious practitioner. All curses can be broken, I'm sure.
Well, for now, would you mind taking your trance in there?
Not sure I've got time to trance.
2 days, Lady Drow, 2 days. 1 day's gone, 2 more days.
And we only have 2 days ourselves. From what you remember, the stone giants, Tink and Droden, were they religious practitioners? There's a mention of their hierarchy somewhat, and Stonekeeper Hogran? Stone something. Do we know if they...
Well,
do we know of anyone?
they're keeping a library, and they seem rather naturistic in form. So, perhaps, probably not stereotypically religious like someone like you, but perhaps more shamanistic or druidic.
Be, if not amongst them, somewhere in this city, a temple of sorts. I'm sure we'll find something.
It's finding a temple of sorts that would be willing and able.
Worst case scenario, we can always ask the drow that are here looking for us.
They will not be sending priestesses to find us.
Topsy-turvy, have you noticed in your time in this form that you have been susceptible to anything in particular, anything that... Well, if Malice does turn at an inopportune moment, we could use to restrain them? Or better, bring them to unconsciousness?
They're like silver when we change.
That is very useful. I think we should go get some silver manacles.
Malice starts removing her earrings. DM, am I with kind of clerical knowledge and thinking that it's gonna be from what they've implied and whatnot, so it's gonna be lycanthropy.
Roll a religion or history. Yes, it is lycanthropy.
And then
Or
would
a rat
I
version of it.
and then would I believe and or think that it would be remove curse?
Roll a check for me.
Yeah,
Get
I just
14.
did. I saw the okay. I saw the dice roll, but then it disappeared, and now it's not showing me anything.
So, yeah, it's just right. I can see it.
Okay.
You think back to your studies, and you have heard of werewolves and other were creatures, although you've probably never seen one in Menza Baranzan because wolves are, surface creatures. They're quite rare down here. You remember from your studies that yes, you believe a remove curse is needed to, and it has to be quite a high level caster to do it. But you feel physically ill at the moment, so rather bizarrely, I don't know, you feel like you're missing a piece because this feels like a disease. This does not feel like a curse at the moment.
Okay. So there could be something at maybe lower level.
Yeah, the role
Yeah.
that you got, you definitely think remove curse is used, but you feel like actually whatever you were taught is incomplete. There's something else going on as well.
Okay. I don't really know enough about what is going on, but if we can find some priestess somewhere or a priest, or a practitioner of sorts who is good enough, then maybe they could help me. So we should rest, we should stock up, and then to the giants I think is probably still a good plan, but we should have some way of confining me for the night as well.
Yes, if you change, you can come live with us with our people. In Blingdenstone, there's many of us. Live with us.
Well, thank you for the invitation.
Somehow I missed that.
With your people, do any of them have control over themselves when they change, or?
Oh, we can change, miss, but we didn't do it because we thought you would kill us. Yes,
No, but
yes, we thought you would kill us.
but when you do change, can you control what you do?
Yes, except for those 3 days for some reason.
Okay. And you're stronger when this happens.
Only silver hurts us. Or magic.
Silver.
Do you want to see, miss?
No, it's quite all right.
The other one's like, yes, show her. Show her. You want to see, miss?
Well, I'm not quite sure, considering that it's within those 3 days, whether you should be risking anything or yourselves.
Wait
So
till
both of them go,
Eldith's back
oh.
with the lock.
Both of them kind of go, oh, at the same time as if they like didn't think of that. We won't change. No.
Thank you.
No. We won't change. We will stay. After 3 days, then we'll change.
I'm going to
Okay.
go and start identifying that ring while you continue this conversation, seeing as I'm not the only one on a time limit.
Well, I think I am still going to go meditate. I have a lot to think on.
Could you meditate in there?
I suppose so.
Thank you. I know what I'm doing with my 4 hours.
Just
What are you
staring
doing?
at Malice through the cage door.
Oh, no, I'm going to go buy 4 sets of manacles in case someone bites another person, and I'm going to ask them to be silver-plated.
Okay, we'll say you can do that.
Are you not going to get like, I see if you can get like hand covers or like mittens attached to the manacles and like a Hannibal mask? But like the cool one from Hannibal Rising, not the one from Silence of the Lambs.
Ooh,
I don't know
do
what the
my
one from
best.
Hannibal Rising looks like.
I don't have a clue what you would charge me for that, but
No, nor me. Nor me.
you
5e.
can, we have quite a lot of money, so we can always work it out after the session.
Yeah, we'll work it out after. But
And
you can
whilst
send
we're
someone
working
off
that
to go
out,
and buy that.
no, I've got nothing to do for 4 hours. Oh wait, I'm short resting for 1 hour, so I'll spend the other 3 hours doing that, and then I can go get my big captain's hat.
Nice. Yeah, nice. Manacles will cost you. Well, normally they would be 2 gold. So if you want them silver plated, then I would say 3 gold per pair.
Oh, fab. Where are the party funds?
The Hannibal Rising mask would suit Malice quite nicely, I think. Like that kind of like Japanese half mask.
She has already got the skull. So what she might do, if she could kind of work it into her trance, is she'll just be carving some of the design into the skull to make it extra creepy. I'll add a picture of it to the chat.
Are we doing this trancing business now? Can I roll hit dice?
Yes.
Malice is.
Proceed.
Yeah, you're not going to be disturbed, so you can have the 4 hours. Roll on the time.
Am I free from disease now?
Roll a Constitution check, please.
Check or save?
Save.
One. Nope.
No,
My
you
disease
actually
has.
have another. You have another level of exhaustion.
Oh fuck! Seriously?
Yeah.
Do I still have Grackle Lung?
Roll a Constitution check for me.
I will when Foundry lets me back in.
Okay. So it's just before 5, about 5-ish on the evening. You all rest and recover. When you finish resting, the boat is looking a lot better. The food's been cleaned up. The bloodstains are largely gone or covered up. Eldith is coming back with 2 of the dwarves who've got 3 casks of ale and bags of food. Okay, yeah, that's pretty nice.
An 18 on my con save.
Yeah, so you lose your level of exhaustion.
I, however, lose half my speed.
Yeah, Rodin wakes up coughing and spluttering, this sort of smoky, acrid taste in your mouth. It's hard to breathe. You feel like you can't really move very quickly. You're kind of slowly leaning on stuff and moving about.
At least at this rate, I'll do more damage to Ember Shroud.
Okay, so yes, long or short rest, depending on what you're taking.
Also, identify the ring before my little kip.
Okay,
nearly
yeah,
kills me.
it is a ring of feather fall.
We'll make a note of that's what it is.
I'll put it in your bag if you want.
Oh, thank you. You can also delete my mystery ring of transmutation.
Yeah, so what would you like to do?
I take it even after resting, Malice is even worse for wear.
You still have a fever. Yeah, it's not quite so bad. Your head's not pounding anymore. Your fingernails are still bleeding, weirdly.
I will, without having to appear, I will have also asked them whether it is likely that I turn in the first 3 days, or does it take a full cycle for the change to actually happen?
How would you know that? Do you want to?
I would ask the other were-rats.
Okay. Well, miss, we don't know because we were born this way.
I'm okay.
But those we bite, 3 days and nights of fever, and then 28 days, and then they change.
So they don't normally change within those first 3 days and nights?
No.
No, so it should be... I should be safe the next few days at least. But if I am not cured within those 3 days, that is when it becomes
Then
permanent?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
And then you need even stronger magic.
But magic can still resolve it even after those 3 days?
I think so.
Interesting.
Not feeling particularly spry today, so I don't suppose anybody has like a cane or something to help me hobble around, do they?
We could probably make something.
You do look rather pale. Trojan, have you eaten something bad? Derendil wanders over. You can always lean on me, dear boy.
I'll be
You're
fine.
okay.
I'll be
Just
fine.
think, it's like you're miles away. It's like you've got kind of black goo around your nose there.
Droden will, using his left hand, he'll wipe it off onto his weird little kind of leatherish glove, and then just kind of shake his hand off, wipe it on his trousers.
Yeah, it's black with tiny metallic particles in it. It's just wow. You're clever enough. It's just pollution. It's just the sheer amount of fuel that they burn here every day.
It's fine.
It's
It's
permanent smog.
it's just the place is far more well kept than I'm used to, or poorly kept than I'm used to, I suppose.
If it's affecting you, then we should do something. Surely they sell like masks or something. Malice is making one where you'll match.
I think getting eaten by a dragon and Alice turning into a rat is slightly more pressing than
Well, if
me.
we see something whilst we're walking through town, we should. I'm just saying. Speaking of which, if we're about to leave, Topsy and Turvy, would you mind wearing these for the duration of, is it 2 more days? And I'll show them the silver manacles that I've picked up.
But would that not be harmful to them? Can we not just contain them?
Is it harmful to you when you're not in that form?
We don't like it. No. We don't like it.
But it means if you were to somehow manage to break out, you would be in a weakened state, which would make everyone else feel a lot safer.
It might make us mad when we're changed. Yes, it will make that version of us angry, I think. But we'll wear them if you want us to. Do we have to wear them all day?
Oh, you said it was a bit random when you turned. You don't have a specific amount of time between transformations.
Seems to depend on the time of year. But yes, the calendar. Different times of year. We change earlier or later or...
So you have an idea, so you would know approximately when to put them on?
Maybe.
Does anyone remember what time they changed yesterday?
One looks at each other. Eldest sort of it were kind of quite late in evening, I think. Or were it? What time were it? No, I think it was probably 6 o'clock. Maybe, yeah, 6 o'clock-ish. It's about 5:20 now.
Should put these on. And then when you've turned, call for Eldith and she can take them off. Not when, like, after you've turned back off. It's...
Roll persuasion for me. Get them to put these on.
Please, pretty please.
Yes. We'll put them on. Take them through the bars and clamp them on through each hand.
We say I had 2 keys made, so I can leave one with Eldith and one with me for in case of malice.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll just like, aye, okay. I'll keep this on my person.
Thank you. And Malice, this may need to be worn by you, just as a warning, if we see it starting to happen.
That is understandable.
But someone else is going to have to carry them because they weigh about as much as me. So I'll give them to Derro.
Okay.
Where are we off to? The Stone Speaker?
Yes.
Normally, I still would have preferred to go and find the savants first, but considering that 2 of us are ill quite severely now, I think I agree with the giants.
And whilst we pass through the marketplace, do I see any, I guess, gas masks? Something like that.
Can I also just do a quick
No.
check on Drodin? Do I think that whatever's up with him could, like, can I identify whether it's disease or poison or?
Yeah, roll medicine.
Oh no, not a clue.
No, you're not sure. It's not natural for someone to have black and slightly metallic goop in their nose. That's for sure.
Okay. Well, at
Even though
least that
you were
means,
suffering from a similar thing the day before.
hey, for all we know, that my thing was the rat thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Could I, from this point in, say that I wear my pink bow as a, crafty face mask? To help reduce.
You can wear it like that, whether it reduces or not. I shall secretly apply to the DC.
This is
Okay, so
how
you're walking around with
COVID
a
made
pink
its
bow on your
way
face.
into Gracklestick.
Yeah. Too soon.
Well,
Okay.
I've only got 15 feet of movement speed now, so wherever we're going slowly.
Oh
Or
my
you
goodness.
are being carried by Darendelle.
Darendil, pick him up!
So what exactly is
Derringer
our
will
plan?
pick you up like a baby. Basically, like sweep your legs up and just sort of walk along holding you.
And then
There,
generally,
there,
what
the
is our...
boy.
Oh,
I've got you.
Like giant glittery black fucking snot blob on his face. Uh,
And then can I just check what exactly is the plan for today, just so I can make sure I've got the right kind of spells prepared?
Only half of today left, but.
So we are traveling, and then we are hopefully. Do we know how far away the giants are?
Rain would tell you that the giants are on the other side of Ladagur's burrow,
And
which
how
is the
difficult is
huge.
it to pass over? Or
There
through?
are bridges across it, so you don't need to. Yeah, it's joined by bridges.
Are we likely to get there today?
Yes, it's half an hour away, if that.
Okay.
So you head out across the city. You pass through the Blade Bazaar. You go past the Goldbrawn's lair. You come after a time to a part of the city you haven't seen before. It is this. You see it from a distance. You see these bridges going over something. You can't make out what the bridges are traversing, and as you get closer and closer, you realise that it's effectively a huge split, a huge chasm through the centre of Gracklestug. And indeed, as you start to approach, you see that this chasm disappears downwards, but there's hundreds of little caverns and walkways zigzagging all the way across this huge chasm. And it looks as if literally the ground has split in two, and then over time, people have opened dwellings there, bridges have been built. It is It's quite an awe-inspiring view. It's quite bizarre. If you wish to, you cross over one of the bridges.
Well, we
See
need
the
to, so
picture okay?
yeah.
Rain will say, "Oh, well, this is Eladiger's furrow. This happened. I'm not sure when. Hundreds, maybe thousands of years ago, there was a great earthquake, and the city literally split in two." You pass over the bridge without much issue, and gradually make your way. As you pass into the southern side of the city, you see that the buildings are much more. They're still not decorated. The Dwergar don't seem to take much pride in appearance. It's all about functionality and sturdiness and purpose. But they're definitely higher quality materials. They're finished to a higher level. It's definitely more expensive area of the city, if you like. And as you wander towards the west side, you see on the far wall of the cavern this huge. All the walkways are generally sort of 6 foot at the most. You can see in the distance this huge 25-foot tall cavern sort of disappears into darkness, and stood at the entrance is two huge stone giants. One male with a bald head, a sort of grey granite-like skin, and a massive club, bigger, almost as big as Derrendil. And then the other is a female stone giant wearing chainmail. She's got almost like silver grey hair, which is plaited and resting over her shoulder, and she's got a great sword, which she's just got leaning on her shoulder.
We should probably give our condolences.
If I try and give condolences, I'll be sick.
That would be quite disrespectful, so maybe you should leave that to Tink and myself. And we'll approach cautiously.
You approach, and as you get close, you realise these giants are sort of 20 foot tall, absolutely huge. They both peer down at you quite curiously, and they glance at each other. They mutter something in giant. Does anyone speak giant?
So DM, do we remember the name of the person that we killed?
I think the name was Rahud.
Arahud.
Yeah.
Arahud. Okay. And I do not speak giant, so really hoping Tink does.
So you just sort of hear, and it doesn't make any sense to you. And then they look at each other and turn back, and then in Undercommon,
"What's your business, little people?"
Boy, that's two languages I don't understand.
I'll start interpreting the Undercommon for Tink. We are here to offer our condolences for the person whose name I've already forgotten.
Rahud.
Arahud.
the two giants look at each other again, and the male one turns.
"I'm Dohan, brother of Rahud."
We are aware of your recent loss, and
We are working with the guards to investigate
Language are
this
you
further.
speaking, Tink?
I'll be
I'm talking in
interpreting.
common.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your giant will look to him. You are tiny, tinier than tiny, and he's sort of almost struggling to hear you. You look back at Malice as you translate. Sorry.
We are working with the guard to investigate what happened because I believe Rahu did not have the additional appendage.
Do you know my brother?
And then Malice will say, I was witness to his passing. We did not know him, but
You should come in and speak with Stone Speaker.
okay.
Come. Follow.
And he just turns and starts walking into the darkness. The female stone giant just sort of waves a hand as if for you to go in.
And I head at her as we pass.
Okay.
Skedaddle on in.
So
Weekly-
you go on. Sorry.
I was just gonna go like weakly wave at them as they pass by, like some fucking oily snot baby.
Fair play.
So you're saying Derrindil is still carrying you?
Yeah, he's carrying you.
Yeah, this shows the fact that it's gonna be gross for him.
They lead you down this corridor, and unlike the rest of Gracklestug, the walls are quite crude, but they are carved with these beautiful, intricate, sort of almost like Celtic knotwork, if you imagine. You can see these wonderful swirling patterns, which they're as high as the corridor, which is a good 25 to 30 foot high in places. And as you look closer, you can see that there's images of lizards and all sorts of underdark creatures. You see a hook horror that you recognise from your time in the hook horror lair. You see all sorts of strange and wonderful beasts drawn in this intricate swirling pattern. The giant leads you in, and the cavern opens up. And inside, you can see a number of stone-walled cottages. They seem to have some sort of. It almost looks like they've taken the caps of huge mushrooms and placed them on top as roofs, but the mushrooms that they must have used to make these houses just like boggles your mind on how big they must have been and where they even find such a thing. When as you approach the center of this small settlement, you can see a huge bonfire which must be 20 meters in diameter. It's absolutely huge. It's roaring high. You can see a hole in the cavern above where all the smoke is rising out. And around this campfire is probably a dozen stone giants, male and female, all just quietly talking to each other, and just generally in a quiet state. At the far side of the fire, you can see what looks like a very large stone chair and a giant sat upon it. You can't quite make him out because of the flames. Are you going to approach?
Yes.
Okay. So as you approach the fire, and it is blazingly hot. It is so huge, this fire. It becomes harder and harder to walk towards it. It's just absolutely blisteringly hot. The figure in the throne seems to see you approaching with the brother of Rahud, and he stands. And as he stands, you see these glints of like blue light reflecting off his head for a second, and then he finally comes into view. You can see he is again 25 foot tall easily. He's muscular and strong. There's a huge warhammer which is as big as Drodin leant against the throne. He seems to be wearing a cloak which almost looks like it's made out of moss, but again, it is ginormous. He's muscular, he's strong, his skin is like granite, and in a row around his head, literally sticking out of his flesh, if it is flesh, is these blue crystals which sort of almost form a crown. In fact, I can show you a picture of him. He is an impressive and imposing figure. And he stands and looks across.
Who approaches? Name yourselves.
My name is Malice. This is Tink, Drodin, Darendil, and Stool. Now, unfortunately, we are not all able to speak a common tongue. I was wondering if you would allow us to make it so that we can all understand each other.
Do this, child of the spider, if you wish.
Thank you. And I'll kneel down next to Stool and just ask him if he could do his thing.
Yeah, Stool wanders near. The spores eject.
Spaff. Oh no, eject works
Spaff.
too.
Eject. It's all the same. Yeah, they spaff, eject. And the giant doesn't react. A few of the ones around the fire seem to bristle a little bit, and the hands go to the weapons. But he's not phased by it at all.
He's been in this rodeo before.
It's not the first time he's been spaffed on.
Just that laugh and the giant voice, just ho 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 ho.
Okay, well, we can now all speak freely.
It's
You
nice
can
to be able to
partake
talk
in
without
food.
talking.
Small people.
Sorry, what was that? Stone
You can
speaker?
eat and drink with us. Children of the spider.
Yes,
And
we.
you of the dreamlands.
Please, we skipped lunch.
Very well.
He just nods at someone, gestures at the fire, and you see one of the giants start getting a plate together, which is absolutely ginormous. It's ridiculously big, and you've seen smaller serving platters, to be honest, at banquets and such, and they load it up with meats and mushrooms and all sorts of food, and just bring it over and place it on the floor in front of you.
Please, eat. And tell me what brings you here. I've met some of you before. I cannot say which, but it may change things if I do. Some of you are missing.
He was he the one who was chasing the other giant?
Chasing.
Wasn't there someone who was following the previous giant who appeared?
No, he wasn't. No,
Ah.
actually, it was just some of the giants came and collected the body a
Okay.
short time
We
after.
haven't seen him
We've
before.
not,
Not him, no.
but he knows
Seems to infer that he's met some of you before.
some. That's the thing. Not just one, but some. If it was one, I'd be like, yeah, Tink. Obviously, he can recognize her soul, but
Say that we recall meeting you, Stone Speaker.
Because you
Wait.
haven't met me yet.
Did you
I've
meet us
met
in?
you.
Did you meet us in that library that doesn't exist, where time is weird?
The library does exist, Strode.
No, it doesn't, and I haven't told you my name.
I told him everyone's names
Oh,
because
yeah.
he asked.
Suddenly that seems considerably less impressive.
You forget that I've already met some of
I
you. I
apologize.
already know your story.
I don't understand how that can be.
The nature of Graven Hollow is outside of time.
So, but you don't exactly recall meeting us, so I'm just
No, I
really
do
hoping.
recall some of you. Some of you are missing.
You recall us as friends?
I've met you before. We are
Do
not
you?
friends. We did not speak for long enough, but we conversed for a great deal of time, Tink of the Dreamlands. It's not your real name, though, Tink, is it?
With all due respect, sir, you are blowing my mind right now.
It will all make sense to those of you that make it.
It
Your
implies
future
that
is
some
my
of us do
past.
not.
Some of you are missing. Perhaps you meet them along the way.
Was there a red-headed dwarf? Who else do we have? Hemith, a Durgar?
I would also describe Sevatar.
No dwarf. Not a red-headed dwarf.
I am incredibly curious about Graven Hollow, but in answer to your question, we are here as we are helping the guard, and I'll show them the badge, investigate exactly what happened to Rahood.
And to pay our respects.
So tell me, Malice of Spider,
If we have met before, then I believe you'll be aware that I am not one for where I have come from.
you're still a child of the spider, just as I am a child of the earth. You can run from where you were born, but you will always have been born there.
Until we die and are born anew, I can respect that. Now, we were hoping that you would maybe share with us some details of what actually happened before his
Please,
death.
tell me. Tell me of his final moments. Dohun, you should hear this. He was your brother.
And Duhan wanders over and stands towering over you all.
I think Malice was hiding in the market trying to protect stalls, so I don't really remember myself.
But well, there most definitely were two heads, which I believe wasn't normal for Rahud, and he seemed torn between them. One seemed possessed and furious and well in control of the body as it tore through the market.
And one frightened. Unfortunately,
Sorry.
unfortunately for his actions and fear of what he would do, he was stopped.
I fear that you will swat me out of the air when I say this, but I also feel that you will respect honesty when I say we stopped him. And then she's just gonna brace.
Duhan speaks.
My brother was peaceful. And you can see we have one head, not two.
We understand that he was a victim in this.
And that is
Who
why we
did
are
this?
investigating.
If we can figure out what may have caused the sudden growth of the second head, the change in personality and demeanor, then we can find out what took hold of your brother.
And he will be remembered the way he should be, the way you knew him.
And we may be able to help others to stop it from happening again. Your brother will not have died in vain.
Who killed him?
I can't remember who delivered the final blow, but
I don't think it was me. I was hiding in the market with Stall. Was
So it
was it
was you
Jago?
people killed my
Well,
brother.
I'm having my thing is above table. I'm just trying to actually remember. Do we know who it was? I can't.
I
I
feel
wish to
like
know his final moments. Tell me. Please, tell me of his final moments.
um your brother was seemingly driven mad by some form of magical influence and um, began attacking a market in the don't know what you call it, the dockyard, the lower town. I don't know how you phrase it here. And yes, in the interest of protecting local inhabitants, we helped defeat your brother.
thank you for ending his torment. He was peaceful. He herded Rothay and he made clothes from the leather. He was a peaceful person.
You know,
The
had he
stone
met
speaker, the stone speaker sort of reaches out and puts a hand on this giant's shoulder to comfort him. Sorry.
Do you know, had he met with anyone new recently?
The stone speaker speaks.
We do not venture out into the city often. We support the king, but we are happy here. We do not mix.
So you haven't had any new faces here either?
As he says no, you see the stonekeeper again. He's this kind of quite. It's not really imposing even. It's just quite an inspiring figure. He's huge, and these crystals are sort of catching the light, and you see these little flashes of blue on the walls around as the light fragments and moves through these things. You see his eyes are sort of almost white with the same blue as if his eyes are made of gemstones. And as he's speaking, you just see them just suddenly go black like voids. They just disappear, and he just goes distant, like he's not present anymore, and begins to speak.
Something evil stirs in the underdark. The rock itself cries in pain and horror, and the madness creeps from the blackest depths. Pay heed to the signs surrounding you. A cave with two faces, rock devoured, and the land overgrown. The pebble believes itself flesh, the earth rejects its wards, and the tunnels shake in fury. By these portents you shall know of evil's presence and of evil's face. This is what the stone tells me.
And then his eyes suddenly go back to this sort of gem-like quality, and doesn't even seem to react to what he's just said.
Rather strange.
Are you okay? Is that normal?
You see Duhan just looks across and nods at you.
Stone speaker, here's the wisdom in the earth.
May I ask a question? Does the word or the name Danzig mean anything to you?
Stone speaker thinks for a moment, just shakes his head.
It was
Danzig.
it was the last word that he said before he died. I was just okay. So I went and checked. So I came back halfway through whatever the hell just happened. I am freaked the fuck out. Tink killed him, by the way. Tink
Yeah.
with magic missile,
Yeah, I went to check as well.
and then dying word to Tink was Danzig.
It's a catalyst, if I recall.
I am not saying that. Do you say that? Please.
No, I just asked about Danzig.
So, small friends who I've met before,
That.
you have a long, long journey ahead. You investigate this corruption,
I missed the beginning of that. I don't know about everyone else.
Did my voice break up?
A little bit.
I
You a-
understood.
Are you asking if we're going to go investigate this
Corruption.
premonition that you've had?
Or the corruption of Rahood.
Of Rahood?
Yes. That's why we're here. And any help that you could give us about, I don't know, his daily practices so that we could work out where he's been. Also, if you've seen anyone or anything like these, and I would like to ask, I think Drodin has them. The statue that we found, and the weird stone.
Oh,
That
my
made
weird stone.
Greg will go mad. Yeah.
Sure, I will flash my stone.
Okay. You hold up this weird metallic rock, and the stone speaker literally has to bend right down, crouches, and bends right down to see it. And as he's looking at it, his face is is just huge in front of you.
This is of an old age. This is not of our age.
No, I identified that.
More of this resides in the tunnels below. Remnants of the old age, long gone, flying cities all fallen, deep in the earth.
But it's not something you've recently come into contact with.
No,
Could I make something fly with a piece of this?
maybe with a piece much larger, but not with this. No,
Not even something small.
that knowledge is forgotten. Forgotten to time. Perhaps in Graven Hollow you could see such things, but
Yes, where is Graven Hollow, by the way? If it's supposedly real.
you'll find it. Because
If
I
you
lead some of you there.
if you give me specific directions, I'll find it much sooner.
Not time. I
Can
need
you
you
at least do
much later.
something? Can you at least do something about some diseases that we seem to be carrying?
Some of you had this, so I feel it only right that I give it to you now.
He holds out this huge, long, it's sort of, I don't know, 2 foot long, best part of a meter long quartz crystal. Absolutely huge. It's got a leather bag. You can see about half of it sticking out, and he just holds it out, bends down really, really low, and just holds it out to all of you.
A gift. This will help you find Graven Hollow when time is right. If you need the library, then the library will call to you and make itself known.
Malice will take that massive ass crystal and be very thankful.
Okay.
He's going to be trying to hoist it as well with his weak, noodly, sick arms.
Okay, I shall put it in your. I'll put it in your bag, Malice.
Thank you.
No, in fact, I won't because you don't know what it is yet.
Okay.
I will identify it later.
would never leave Ladiger's furrow.
Sorry.
Rahud never left Ladiger's furrow. You said you kept yourselves to your settlement.
This is Cairngorm. This is our place.
Sorry, Cairngorm then.
Where is Cairngorm on the map?
Well, it's in Scotland, so
Mm.
That's what I thought it was.
I haven't got the map on the stream, but I shall. You
What
see?
did,
Yeah, yeah.
what did he have an abode here that we could look at?
The gesture at the huts.
We do not own our homes. We sleep in whichever we wish. This place belongs to all.
I'm just trying to think of any place he may have frequented here that we could look at that might give us some sort of clue into how he came into contact with something that would trigger this growth or corrupt his body or
you have roles within society. Yes. What exactly was his role? What was his job?
He made clothes. He herded the animals.
He made clothes and herd animals. Do we know what he was doing upon that day?
Making clothes, herding animals. When he slept in that hut there.
please could we look at
Gestures to
that
one of the
hut?
huts.
When he
Sure.
was making clothes, was he at all involved in trade? Were there any merchants that he would have had dealings with?
I believe so. He did not trade. He was just a maker of clothes.
Then where
Okay.
did he get the
The spider.
material from?
From the cattle. Think of the dreamlands.
And then who were the clothes for?
For my people.
Everyone.
Also, sorry, this is slightly off topic, but I have to ask. Why do you keep calling her Tink of the Dreamlands?
Her species is from the surface. Dwarves are from the surface.
But why is that Dreamlands?
It's a place with no roof on the cavern. It is under a burning orb in the day and a silvery orb at night.
The
vast
land of
open
dreams.
space is filled with twinkling lights that shine on all who wish to see them. It is a place of dreams.
I thought you were describing the Feywild, but interesting.
I never thought of the surface like that. Fair enough.
It sounds wonderful.
It is.
Depends on where you
People are
go.
not very welcome there. The dwarves and the humans and the elves do not tolerate mankind. One day, perhaps, we may return to the dreamlands, but for now, we live deep in the Underdark.
And I go look at his house.
Okay. Yep. You can go look at the house, sure.
Well, you go look at his house. I'm going to stress over the fact that we're looking at a giant's house, but I'm going to get eaten by a dragon in 2 days.
All connected.
Hopefully not.
Well, so far we found feck all to save him, so
Mm. I'll start working on a bank account.
You the huts don't have doors as such. They just have these long, strange sort of beaded reeds over the door. They're again 25 foot high, easily wide enough for all of you to walk in side by side and still have room to spare. This stone building is huge. You walk inside, and it just has a number of areas with these huge beds. It almost seems like it is just a place to sleep. There is nothing special about it. There's no living room or anything like that. They all, from what you instantly get the picture that this is just a place to come and sleep. They seem to all congregate around the fire and eat and drink together after the day's toil, and then return to the beds and sleep. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any, like, there's none of this. That's my bed. There is like crates and boxes and chests with things in, but like none of it is next to the beds, if that makes sense. So it's almost like you just sleep where you fall. There's no real structure or order to it.
Are any of these crates or chests Rahud's? Did he have any personal effects?
Um,
Gestures at one of the chests, which is absolutely, it's massive. It's huge, and he lifts the lid and opens it, and you can see as you fly up and look down, you can see that there's some like quite pretty like amber necklaces which look like they've been carved, quite big chunks, on quite a heavy chain. Um, it's not gold. It might be silver. It might be silver plated something, but it's massive. You know, it's like a chain that you would use to lock a gate. It's massive. There's a number of tunics and some sort of like trews, if you like sort of long shorts. A couple of pairs of very big sandals. A knife which is, the size of a bastard sword. That's about it. He lifts it all out one by one, and you can see him getting quite sad, um, as he sort of takes it out and lays it on one of the beds.
this is all of his possessions. Possessions are not important to us. Family is. I'm sure it is the same for small people too.
actions can also be a symbol or a token of those lost. Representative. Very
Sure.
important.
Yes, I shall keep this orange stone found in the Dreamlands.
Have your people had any dealings with derro? Well, recently.
It is a shame for the derro. They have faced many hardships in their past and did not deserve any of them. And now they find life very hard. They cannot live it in the same way as others. Yet others cannot understand why they cannot live it their way. They are trapped between the past and the present. They have nowhere to go.
Don't think I have any more leads to ask about, guys.
Roll a perception check for me, please.
All of us?
Anyone who's in the hut?
Shit. I would have disadvantage, wouldn't I? Because I'm exhausted.
You would.
Shit.
15.
9.
Tink, Drodin. In fact, Drodin's so busy coughing, that's all Tink can hear. He's like coughing up all of this black mucus again. It's revolting. And Tink is just so like disgusted by it that you don't notice anything. Malice, you just hear this faintest sound. It's like hundreds of voices whispering all at once. And it's really, really irritating.
Everyone stop.
Easy for you to say.
Durandal, can you take Dredden outside, please?
Of course, yes, no problem.
Thank you.
Just great, rock him a little bit.
I like the idea more that he does like the kind of like backpack carry, so he's just like grabs Jordan by the shoulders and just goes.
No, he's got you by the armpits and he's just facing you away from him so he doesn't get puked on.
No, I thought he would be burping him.
Oh no,
He tried to.
you don't burp when they're vomiting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's not safe.
Oh god. Tink. Can you hear that?
All I could hear was Droden's horrendous.
But do you remember what Gregor said about the stone and the voices?
Are you hearing the voices?
Yes, but I don't think I'm hearing them in the same way that he heard them. Just shh. And then can I make Tink listen again?
Yeah, sure, I'll let you roll again now you're listening, Tink.
Got a -1, guys.
And could I bring Stone Speaker into that as well? What I'm hoping to do is be able to use the three of us to triangulate. No!
My God, Droden, shut up!
I'm starved. It's not my fault.
Yeah, go for it. You can one of you can roll with advantage or you can both roll. I don't mind.
I'll roll with advantage. Ay, this is not going to end well. We're just... It was perception. With advantage. Oh my life. That was a nat 1 and an 18, so I'll take the 18 for 23.
Okay.
Can I tell where it's coming from? Any kind of directional ideas?
Right. You listen.
Are we only just noticing that Cromclon has been in Foundry since we started?
No, I noticed that ages ago. I just didn't want
Yeah,
to say
he's been there forever.
I didn't notice either. Is he in? see if I didn't realise he was on.
Think you had internet yet? No.
And don't you run away.
Oh no, I've invited it. Let's invite him in.
It's 10 anyway, so
I know. I didn't realise he was waiting.
Oh, Danny boy.
So you listen. You hear this whispering, and you realise it's coming from below. You actually kneel down, place an ear to the floor, and you hear this chanting, this whispering chanting from the stone beneath your feet.
Does it sound like the chanting that we heard from, like, the hook horrors, or do we think this is more what Gregor was describing?
You tell me.
Chanting from beneath our feet. We've just heard something about the stone or the rock itself screaming or something. Um,
Yeah, if we could have that as text that I can save to my notes, that would be lovely.
There you go. Just so happens.
here's one I prepared earlier.
Here is one I prepared earlier. There you go. You are now all the owners of it.
Something evil stirs in the underdark. The rock itself cries in pain and horror. Madness creeps from the dark, blackest depths. Pay heed to the signs surrounding you. A cave with two faces, rock devoured and the land overgrown. Pebble believes itself flesh. The earth rejects its wards, and the tunnels shake in fury. For these portents, you shall know of evil's presence and of evil's face. This is what the stones tell me. I think I can hear what your vision foretold, Stone Speaker.
We have found the source.
I fear that this may also be the cause. If he was to sleep here and to hear these voices, are there caves below that people access?
There are.
Why do they access them? What are they used for?
The air is clean down there. Many things grow.
They grow things. Do they? What were the mines, the tunnels created for in the first place, though? Were they mines?
They are not mines, they are just caverns.
Okay.
Could we maybe say no one should sleep here for the time being? If
I
it's-
think that's safest, yes.
I still can't hear it, Malice, but should we go around the other huts and listen there?
Um, maybe if we could get an idea of how how big a problem this is, be beneficial. Stonespeak, has anyone else within your community been acting strangely more recently?
The city is acting strangely. Even the king himself is acting strangely.
But of your people, is there anyone that you have greater concern for?
No. But it seems I should be.
I would be careful of anyone who starts acting in a way that does not follow the standard rules. Their personality was to change. It may be best to contain them until we can figure out exactly what is causing this and if there is a cure.
You investigate the tunnel, then I shall keep an eye on the city.
Where is the entrance to the tunnel?
That I do not know. There are entrances in the derro settlement to the west. There is entrances, I hear rumour, in the docks to the north.
Thought we were told the derro settlement was currently in the north west.
That's where the Council of Savants are hiding for the time being.
Right. Okay.
Before they move, so they are less easier to be found.
That could be a good reason for us to go to them to seek access to the tunnels.
It's provided they haven't moved already.
As you are my guests, I offer you shelter here, if you wish it.
As he says that, a giant comes to the door. She's tall, like all of them, long, silvery white hair, again in a braid over her shoulder, and she says,
Stonekeeper, the Dwergar have sent an emissary from Captain Hertha. They bring him now.
and she sort of stands aside, and you see a figure stood in the doorway. Dan, do you want to describe yourself?
Yes, hello. So yes, you see Druagar, or Grey Dwarf as he likes to be called, about 3'4", bald head, nice big beard, got a two-handed maul and a chainmail outfit on. He just comes kind of hunched over, comes towards you, and he just looks at you all.
Didn't Black Scott send you?
Ah, yeah, Crunklan, yes, that's me.
Clun.
Yes, Crunklan.
Does she have a message? Or sorry, why are you here?
Ah, to take you the right way.
The right way to. Where do you think we're going?
Ah, you tell me, I take you.
Oh, you're a guide.
Yes, Crunklan Glide.
makes sense. Hello, I'm Glenn. I'm Tink.
Hello, Tink.
And I can't remember what Tink looks like.
Yeah.
She's really feckin' small.
Would be about a foot tall. She got some wings that are reinforced mechanically. She's got a pair of goggles strapped to her head. She's not wearing any armor except for a leather waistcoat piece. Yeah, and if you look closely at her small limbs, you'll see there are other bits reinforced by metal as well that you might initially mistake for jewelry or armor, but they are actually fused to her skin.
Yeah, Droden is a drow wearing some somewhat kind of like posh upclass gear that's seen some wear and tear. Got like fancy trousers and not quite riding boots, but kind of like fancy-ish. And then he's got a kind of like ratty, kind of like maroon salmon type shirt that's rolled down on his left-hand side with a lovely little glove tapped on that, and then the right-hand side is rolled up, and he has a little a fancy little cape wrapped around his neck, almost like a little poncho that billows dramatically whenever he fancies. I always forget I have that.
Hazel?
So, Malice is a average height drow woman. She's got light grey hair to the point where it could be white if the lighting was correct. She looks a bit sickly. She's obviously not feeling well at the moment. Dark eye makeup, and then she is wearing kind of a, don't know what colour it'd be in the light, probably quite grey. It looks like a leather lab coat kind of thing. Like she looks like the enemy of Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. She's not well. That'll do.
Okay, and with them also is
There is a mushroom that is wearing what looks like an armoured tablecloth. He is the most
Yes.
adorable thing you have ever seen.
there is a mushroom. It's a very small mushroom, probably about 1.5, 2 foot tall, wearing a tablecloth, like an armored tablecloth.
It's purple. The tablecloth armour, not the mushroom.
It is purple. And there's also this huge creature, probably 7, 8 feet tall, hairy, predator-looking thing, absolutely massive, really bestial-looking, and as you sort of survey it, it just basically goes, "Charmed, I'm sure. Derendil is the name. Pleasure, pleasure." And unfortunately, I guess we're probably gonna leave it there. Sorry, Dan.
Oh, it's alright.
I don't know how long you were trying to get in.
Since the start.
Yeah,
Oh, you're joking.
Oh,
What
yeah, no, well, I was just watching it anyway, so.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, sorry. We could have.
No,
I could have
that's all right.
at any point.
I didn't mention it because I wondered if you were going to have him as a surprise, and I didn't want to ruin it.
Oh, I just ruined it. Dan!
Yeah.
Hey, buddy!
How's it going?
Hello.
Welcome back to
Yeah,
D&D
good.
Land.
Mobile internet, so yeah, bit dodgy at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
for the stream's sake, Dan was an OG member of the group who really selfishly had a child.
I know.
Bastard. Lord. How's it going? How's being a dad?
Yeah, it's good. He's all good.
You don't sound particularly
Tiring.
convinced.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
sound
it's alright.
convinced.
Yeah, he's tired. That's the
Yeah, no
true
one
state of
tells
a
you how
parent.
tiring it is. Yeah. One changing for the world.
Awesome. Well, welcome back.
The
Thank you.
chaos has arrived.
Hooray.
Cool character as well. Yeah, I'd
Yes.
never read up on them, but nice. I like it. Right. Well, I'm going to stop the stream so we can have a catch up. But we are playing Icewind Dale tomorrow, so 7 o'clock. We're going to stream it. Steve is GMing, so anyone who is still in chat, thank you for coming along, and we'll see you tomorrow. And apologies for the problems with the music tonight. The server was just not playing ball. So yes, see you tomorrow.
Bye.